The last 5 innings of Game 1 today was played in a steady rain. The grounds crew was taxed. Players had to get through it, and they did. Once the game ended, tarp over, tarp off, and they found a mess. They had to scrape the dirt off of the infield, apply a new surface, and voila! Ready to go. More baseball in D.C. And in Washington, D.C., there's plenty to see, but the locals want to see the Nationals, who are hot. The first place Nationals 23-13. They've taken the first 2 from the Fish. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Preston Wilson, 6-4. Nationals won the first game today. This is the second end of a doubleheader. And the Marlins have dropped the first 2, but they did get some good news because dropping his appeal for the 1-game suspension is Bryce Harper. He will serve it this game and will not play. Of course, Preston, this was the sequence of events that led to the 1-game suspension.
Well, there was a lot of griping going on about the strike zone that night. Bryce Harper was the most vocal. He got tossed, and it didn't end there. When they had the celebration after the win, he continued on that argument with the umpire with some choice words.
Some choice words, but I think Dusty Baker feels a lot better having won the first 2 games and said, let's just serve that thing right now. Pitching matchup, Kendry Flores makes his 2nd major league start. Tanner Roark has been a stalwart in the bullpen and in the rotation for the Nationals. What to expect of Kendry Flores?
Well, he's got to throw strikes. He's got to throw strikes and keep this team in the ball game. The Marlins have walked 13 batters in the last 2 ball games, the first 2 ball games of the series. That can't continue.
They call Tanner Roark the king of the called strike. He's tough to pick up, but he's always in the strike zone.
Well, he's one of those guys that lives around the strike zone, but he's not in the middle of the strike zone. It's on the edges, up, down, in, out. He's a good pitcher.
He is, and the Marlins will try to slow down the Nationals and split this doubleheader. Day, then rain, now night. That means game 2. That means lineup's first pitch next. Miami Marlins baseball on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. By the Florida Department of Transportation, reminding you to drive sober or get pulled over. By your local Toyota dealers, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Crowd is still arriving, and there's a steady stream coming in from the Metro station beyond left fields. They open the gates at 6. Second game, day-night doubleheader. Derek Dietrich. First pitch fastball from Tanner Roark is up. This game is underway. Roark has 2 losses, and they both have come at the hands of the Marlins. And a fastball, Dietrich fouls it back. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. So 2 starts against the Marlins, 4 runs here in DC, 5 runs in Miami. Against everybody else, 5 starts and just 5 runs allowed. So whatever it is, the Marlins have had his number, and that breaking ball hits Dietrich right in the leg. He is a baseball magnet, and he's on his way to first. All right, lineups here.
Lineup for game 2. Derek Dietrich's leading off, Martin Prado second. Christian Yelich is in the 3-hole. Cleanup, Big G. Justin Boers batting 5th, Marcelo Zuna 6th, JT Realmuto 7th, Miguel Rojas is 8th, and Kendry Flores is the pitcher, batting 9th.
Dietrich at first. Now you got Prado with Yelich behind him. And then Giancarlo Stanton here in the first against Roark. Prado 1 for 4, an RBI single earlier today. And Roark misses outside. Marlins last night had a 2-0 lead disappear, ended up losing by a couple, 5-3. Had a 1-0 lead disappear, but that was in the first inning, and lost 6-4 in the first game of this doubleheader. See Prado against Roark. Numbers are healthy and good in this ballpark as well. And there's a strike.
Roark stays true to form. There'll be a lot of those tonight.
Ball and a strike.
Strike machine.
Outfield straight up for Prado, not very deep, especially in center. And a throw sends Dietrich back to first. Marlins had opportunities late in game 1. But Jonathan Papelbon in the rain got a 3-out save in which he walked 2, got a double play ball, and struck out Stanton to end the game. Two and 1.
Close pitch, good take by Martin Prado.
There's the last 3 outings. Of course, you don't see Miami up there. Roark's first and third starts against the Marlins. Prado's ground ball finds left field. And the Marlins open with a pair of runners on, and here comes Yelich, who was the best hitter of the day for the Fish this afternoon.
This pitch was actually in a good spot. Prado just puts a good swing on it and pulls it through the hole. Watch the location of this. Ball's down, knee high, maybe just a tad under.
Now Yelich Fastball, and he shoots that into the seats, third base side. Yelich went that way for a double. And he also homered. If you've just joined us and you missed that home run, it was a blast to center. We don't have a distance on it yet. But when we do, we'll give it to you. We're guessing about 420 to 430. Fastball runs away. All right, you tell me how far this goes. It's to straightaway center. It's 402, and that bounces off the back wall at the very back of that area where they park a lot of grounds crew equipment. Roark misses away, runs that outside. Yelich is starting to build a nice little resume here at Nationals Park. Stanton, of course, has had such success against the Nationals here. Prado has hit well here. Ozuna, his numbers are starting to perk up here.
Good changeup. This is pitching right here. Arm speed looks just like the fastball, and it just doesn't quite get there.
Let's see what he gets 2-2. It's out. He's been running that fastball away. Yelich hasn't chased it. Well, he threw that changeup with such conviction. It wouldn't be a surprise to see it here 3-2. The question is, if you're Don Mattingly, would you start Dietrich and Prado? They both have big leads.
I'd start him with Christian Yelich. Why not? See if you can force some action early.
Not running, and it's fouled back to the screen.
Christian Yelich is one of the few guys that I would trust to do that this early in the game.
See, Barry Bonds giving it some last-minute instruction to Giancarlo Stanton. Yelich scorches that one, but it's
nice
foul.
catch.
Great play. Nice job. He protected the cotton candy, which is always important.
Look at that. Reach up and a snag.
So Yelich has seen a couple of 3-2 pitches and fouled them both off. And another one fouled back. This is becoming a nice at bat for Yelich, who sees a lot of pitches. Last we checked, he was third in pitches per plate appearance. Pitch number 9 coming. There's the average Major League Baseball. Just under 4. It's over 4. Runners haven't budged. Dietrich at second. Prado's at first. Yelich left field. It's sinking, but it's caught by Den Decker. Can't hit it much harder than that. Here comes Stanton, and here comes the defense for the Nationals. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. A lot of new faces in there for the second game of this double dip. Matt Den Decker, Ben Revere's in center, Chris Heisey in right, Clint Robinson and Anthony Rendon on the corners, Stephen Drew, Daniel Murphy, and Wilson Ramos behind the plate. And if you've just joined us, Bryce Harper dropped his appeal and is serving his 1-game suspension in this game. Stanton takes a fastball that rides in on him.
Probably serving it while enjoying a nice dinner.
I don't know. You think he's at some restaurant? Or?
Oh, he's not here. He's gone.
You think so?
Yeah, he's gone.
Well, we'll know if there's a walk-off and he comes roaring out and screams at an umpire.
To say.
Yes.
And another thing.
And one more thing. Dietrich back on that dive. Stanton against Roark. This year is 3 for 5 with a home run. He's hit 2 homers and 17 at bats in his career. Now Stanton is in a 2 for his last 22. Larry Vanover calling a strike. But 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts in the first game. He did have 2 hits last night. His last 2 at bats, a single and a double, and he hit a ball extremely hard for an out in the middle of the game this afternoon. Roark missing away. Wilson Ramos gets the Iron Man award because he caught the first game of a doubleheader. Now he did have 2.5 hours in between, which is different than the doubleheader where you just have a half an hour to change your uniform and go at it again. Stanton late on a fastball, and it's 2-2.
Starting to look like his swing is getting a really top heavy, like upper body pulling off the ball, just out of sync. And, you know, he may not be trying to overswing. Sometimes when you're late, it looks like you're overswinging. It looks effortless when you're on time.
Late swing there, a little tapper to first. Robinson gets to the bag, and Stanton is out. And so Dietrich and Prado, who opened with what looked like a very promising start to the inning. Dietrich hit by a pitch, Prado singling. Yelich hit a bullet to left. Stanton bounces out. And here's Bohr, who was 0 for 2 with a couple of walks in that first game.
Look for Bohr to have a better game this game.
High fastball, and he pops it in shallow right. Heisey is in, and he makes the catch, and Miami strands those runners. Underway, second game, scoreless in D.C. Here in D.C. as night falls on our nation's capital. All right, Nationals batting order, UL Sports Medicine. Preston, some new names in there.
Oh, do have a few names. Ben Revere's in center. Anthony Rendon is playing third base, hitting second. Daniel Murphy. Wilson Ramos is in the cleanup spot. Clint Robinson is one of those new faces in there in the 5-hole. Matt Dendecker's getting the start in left in 6-hole. Chris Heisey, the pinch hit home run, is in the 7-hole. Stephen Drew, another pinch hit home run, is in the 8-hole. Tanner Roark is the pitcher. Wow, they got a lot of bench guys that have produced this series that are, you know, getting some burn right here, getting a start, getting them a few at bats. It's always good when a manager can keep those guys fresh.
And they'll face Kendry Flores, the 24-year-old Dominican. Fires a fastball for a strike to Ben Revere. Henry Flores making just his second big league start. He's got the sweet kicks on. You don't often see that from pitchers, right?
Yeah, those are the 3/4 Hirachis, I think. Those are pretty nice. I mean, it might be a little bit too good looking for a pitcher to be wearing, but
road grays.
Yeah.
Well, if he wins, he better be wearing them the next time. The fastball misses in. And Revere, who's leading it off. Marlins saw him last night. They did not see him the first 2 series. Oblique injury. Right on opening day, put him on the disabled list. And for Flores, this is what they used to call an emergency start, but now in Major League Baseball, when you have a doubleheader, you can add a man to your roster, a 26th man, if you will, without having to send anyone down or adjust your 25-man roster. Hard hit, and Prado, sprawling, has it.
Sometimes you need a little help from your friends. And Martin Prado is right there to snag this. Look how far he is on the grass. It's a quick reaction to get that ball. Well done.
Martin Prado is everybody's friend.
He is. He's my friend too.
Here's Rendon. And Flores throws a strike. Larry Vanover did not work the first game. Umpiring in Major League Baseball for doubleheaders over the last few years has evolved. Major League Baseball and the Umpiring Association will have 5 umpires in that city for a doubleheader. And so the umpire that works the plate in the second game will not work on the bases in the first game. And the home plate ump for the first game gets the rest of the day off. David Rackley had the plate. He's off. Alfonso Marquez, Chris Guccione, and Roberto Diaz making his Major League debut today. Stanton goes back, should have room, does have room, and makes the catch. A couple of loud outs to open up this start by Kendrick Flores. Here's your defense, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. The regulars are in for the most part. Yelich, Ozuna, Stanton, Prado and Bohr on the corners. Dietrich with Miguel Rojas giving Adeiny Echeverria, struggling Adeiny Echeverria this game off. And JT Realmuto's behind the plate. Daniel Murphy finds himself in the 3 spot. He golfs one into center, and it falls for a hit.
Well, it doesn't matter what spot you put him in the lineup. He just keeps getting hits.
There's those basketball players that just say they just get buckets.
That's it.
All the guy does is get buckets.
Yeah, he just gets knocked. That's it. I mean, that ball was ankle high.
So Murphy now a 7-game streak. Here is Wilson Ramos appearing to the chant of Wilson.
Good pitch. Nice location, good velocity. Flores is looking free and easy with his motion right now. Gave up a couple hard hit balls, but he's around the strike zone. That's good.
Marlins got him from the Giants in the Casey McGee trade. And his minor league numbers in the Giants system and the Marlins system have been very, very solid. An ERA of 3.20, 38-30 as a record. in New Orleans, a 2.59 ERA in 6 starts this year. Now I must tell you, there are some really dark clouds headed this way.
Yeah.
I mean, we are eye level with the atmosphere up here, and you could see it starting to gather over left field.
Starting to tingle from the ionization in the air, Rich.
High pop-up Bohr does not have enough room, and that's out of his reach. It rained for half of game 1. Kind of a light rain to begin with, but the last 2 innings it got heavier and heavier till the very end, when Jonathan Papelbon was trying to save it. Hitters were trying to wipe the moisture off their helmets. It was just pouring off the bill of their batting helmet. You see the humidity's up, temperatures down, but the forecast says mostly clear skies. This one should be in reach. Bohr has it. Dietrich kind of let the big guy have it, and he made the play. Underway, second game, scoreless. Crowd still filing in. It is a somewhat of a bark at the park night. There are plenty of pets here. Now, when we were gone, that guy just kissed that dog.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if his date was amused or horrified.
You know what? Guys will go to lengths to try to impress their date, man. It's unbelievable.
Breaking ball misses out. Yeah, she hadn't looked at him the same way since. Ozuna.
He doesn't look too pleased about it right now either. He's like, I regret that immediately.
Yeah. Maybe a little too much for the first date. Here's the 2-1. Ozuna rips one left field, but it's hooking, and like a bullet it goes out, but foul. Tell you what, Marcell Ozuna is really swinging it well. A 13-game hit streak, that's the longest in the National League. He had 2 hits in game 1 of the doubleheader, had a hit and a walk last night. Tanner Roark with a 2-2 count. Real Muto and Rojas follow Marcell Ozuna. Line down the right field line. That's into the corner, and that'll be extra bases for Ozuna. Into the corner goes Heisey. Ozuna's not stopping. Head down, headed to third. Strong throw in there.
Do it, Zoo. Stay hot.
He really is fun to watch right now. That's his third triple. And the Marlins have their leadoff man at third base.
Oh, you hook one down the line with authority, and then you shoot him the other way for a triple.
And on Marlins Live postgame, Jessica was able to go down and talk in the clubhouse. And listening to Don Mattingly, that did look like another Bonds bat, by the way. Listening to Don Mattingly talk about Ozuna, he talked about the ability to go to right field. And that's really impressed not only Barry Bonds, Frank Menachino, but also Don Mattingly. Real Muto. And a breaking ball's off the plate. Now he's getting a ton of hits to right field.
Well, that's why you see the average up over 300 now.
That's a long climb in a short time for Ozuna. Real Muto's pop-up in foul territory, and it drops. So Ozuna was tagging. And if Murphy made that catch with his back to the infield, I think Ozuna would have run. Had Heisey made the catch coming forward, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, he had a long way to go. And once you realize the ball's going to land in foul territory, you lose nothing by tagging up. Murphy goes a long way for this ball.
I think he heard Heisey and pulled off it at the last minute. Ball and a strike. Ozuna at third. Roark. And the count is 1-2. Miami trying to get on the board. And get on the board first. They've done that in both games, but lost both games by a couple runs. Here's the 1-2 to Real Muto. It's in. Well, the infield's back, so contact here on the ground just about any place is going to score a run, except for maybe back to the mound. Breaking ball pulled wide of third, and Ozuna was coming home. And so we'll do it again. 2-2. Not a lot of afternoon action in Major League Baseball, but the Cubs win again, 8-2. Jake Arrieta is now 7-0 with a 1.29 earned run average. And he beats the Pirates 8-2. '18th straight win for Arrieta. Real Muto sends one deep but foul into the upper reaches. He counts 2-2.
Well, the Marlins seem to be seeing Roark pretty well. Prado hit the ball well. Yelich hit that screaming liner to the left. Ozuna hit the ball hard. And a couple good swings from JT right here.
Pitch is out. Ramos tried to snatch it back in. Boy, it didn't miss by much.
Oh, it did not.
So it counts full here. You can hear the wind starting to kick up in the ballpark.
We can feel it.
Breaking ball, line to left, shallow left. Den Decker makes the catch. Ozuna tags and stops. And that's a good idea. And so Roark has the first out. And now here comes Rojas.
Got it off the end. Didn't quite get enough of it. Well, that wind is kicked up. You can feel the temperature drop in this booth already.
Yeah, the dark clouds, though, look like they are going around the ballpark, at least for now. Of course, there's no telling if they're going to come back around. The clouds right now swirling above Rojas, and he fouls that off. Now, Dusty Baker, after getting an out and having Rojas up, has brought the infield in. Look at Dusty looking up to see what Mother Nature might bring.
It's amazing how the temperature can change here just within a matter of seconds.
Rojas lines it hard but foul. And it's 0-2. So you can see Roark getting Real Buto was enormous. And he's trying to get Rojas either by a strikeout or some weak contact. His infield's in. Lenny Harris talking to Ozuna. The pitcher, Kendry Flores, is on deck. The Marlins had first and second, nobody out, didn't score in the first. One and two. Roark paused. It was up the bottom of the ball right at the letters. Could have been a strike.
You can hear that wind howling now.
Breaking ball into center field. That's a base hit. Miami's on the board. Nice at bat by Miguel Rojas with an RBI single.
Very well done by Rojas. Stays on this breaking ball, just goes with it, doesn't try to do too much. And when you got that infield drawn in like that, if you hit it hard enough, it's going to get through there quickly, and they're not going to have a chance to get a glove on it. Well done.
Now Flores tries to bunt. Misses. See, 1 for 24 in the minor leagues. And Flores doesn't look very confident or comfortable up there.
Take your pick.
Remember, in the minor leagues, pitchers only hit from Double-A up, and that's only when National League affiliates play each other. That is strike 3 called.
I think that's putting pitchers that come to the National League at a real disadvantage because they don't get the handle of that. And batting practice is nowhere near any type of a comparable situation to being in a game facing live pitching.
I would agree. I mean, I completely agree. I think if you're going to have pitchers hitting in the National League, you should at least allow them in the minor leagues to get at bats, regular at bats, and do it in Single-A and Double-A, because that's where you're instructing kids to bunt. That's where you learn the basics. I mean, if it's all about player development, who cares?
Right.
You know, if one side uses the DH and the other is using the pitchers.
I think they should have it where if it's a National League ballpark, no matter what league it is, they should be able to use it in their home ballpark.
I'm with you on that. I know it's a chance to look at hitters hit and all of that. But if you want to make this game better at this level, Dietrich rips one right field over the head of Heisey. Racing around second, Rojas to third. Heisey up with it. Here comes Rojas. Here comes a throw. He's gonna score.
Good job by Lenny Harris, working his way down that line, really making sure he gave Miguel Rojas a good look before he gave him that final wave. Derek Dietrich hit this ball so hard, there was no chance it was going to get caught out there in right field. This ball is a rocket. As an outfielder, you sit there for a second, and the next thing you know, it's by you. You just got to put your head down and run to the wall.
It will probably be a double. It will be an RBI. Yeah, you would say double. There's Dietrich at third.
You see how far Lenny Harris is down? He's right in the corner of the screen. That's a good job by a third base coach.
So Dietrich with his 10th double. Here's Prado and a chance to pick up another run.
Rich, I got a bone to pick with you.
What's that?
I was told there'd be snacks. I didn't get my bedtime story, and now it's getting cold in here.
My partner, Preston Wilson, went down for a nap between games, and I just didn't want to disturb him. And we ate all the snacks, although I did bring you one of those nice. Actually, I didn't. The crew brought you one of those nice cookies. I just made sure no one ate it before you got it. Ball and a strike. Dietrich at third. 2 runs across. End of the bat. Robinson scoops it up and gets the out, but Miami puts 2 on the board. Miguel Rojas and Derek Dietrich driving in both runs.
Where it is a 2-0 lead for the Marlins in the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Marlins decided to call up Kendry Flores to pitch in Game 2 of this doubleheader. Here is Don Mattingly on why that decision was made.
We just thought he was the guy. He was throwing the ball good. We really didn't want to mess with Jared's routine. We want to kind of let him keep get going where he's, smooths out. We didn't want to bring him up for a day and then send him back. So Kendry seemed like the best guy for that.
And guys, for pitching coach Juan Nieves, he said he wants to see Flores mix up his pitches in these first couple of innings.
Yeah, strikes and then mix your pitches, that's for sure. Thank you, Jessica. Flores had a couple of loud outs and a single to Daniel Murphy. He gets Clint Robinson, Matt Dendecker, and Chris Hazy. The outerwear has gotten a little heavier for this ball game. First game started in the low to mid 70s, and then rain gear became in vogue, and it started to rain halfway through. But tonight, temperatures dropped even further, so most everybody is bundling up. It pays to bundle.
Yes. I'm a believer right now.
Here's Robinson. Robinson had the home run that prompted the return visit, the encore visit for Bryce Harper.
Are you blaming Bryce Harper's suspension on Robinson right now?
No, I'm just simply reporting the facts. And it was a walk-off homer, and Harper, who had just been ejected, came charging out with the rest of the Nationals for the big celebration. And you know the rest of the story. And tonight, Harper dropped his appeal of the one-game suspension. Preston feels he's not on the premises. He's enjoying a fine 5-course dinner somewhere. My guess is he's here. But we'll have to ask. Here's Den Decker now. Robinson aboard. Chris Heisey will follow. Well, Den Decker scored a run in the first game. For both these guys, I mean, you've got the 26th man facing the 26th man right now. Flores, who's up to pitch in this game, and Den Decker, who's up to serve as an extra position player in this game. And once we heard that Den Decker was the extra guy, you had to think, okay, one of these games Bryce Harper's not going to play, or else they would have called up a pitcher. JT Realmuto, Miguel Rojas out for a visit, as Kenry Flores has walked Robinson. And now he's falling behind Den Decker, 2-0.
But our walks are really racking up, piling up for the Marlins in this series. Marlins pitchers have issued 14 walks already this series with that last walk to Robinson.
Well, it's okay to mix up your pitches if you're throwing strikes, but until you establish that strike zone. Right now he's 3-0. Back walks after the Marlins gave him a 2-0 lead. If you can't catch the games on television, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Florida and the Marlins wherever you go. There's Juan Nieves. Also a reminder that Marlins Park offers a variety of private suites located behind home plate, and you can rent them for just one game. From 16 to 60 fit in those suites. Book your suite today, 1-877-MARLINS, or go to marlins.com/suites.
Sounds like a sweet deal, Rich.
Yes, it is. And you don't have to deal with a driving windstorm in your booth. Chris Heisey. Preston mentioned when he did the lineups about all the pinch hit home runs. And on Friday night, Heisey hit one of those, a solo shot, an insurance run in the 8th. Stephen Drew's 2-run homer in the 6th tied that ball game at 2. Bryce Harper, a 2-run homer in the 7th. And then Heisey came up in the 8th. And as Preston said then, he was intent on doing damage, and he did. Heisey bounces that one off of Realmuto. Most pinch hit home runs in the National League. Heisey's got 3, and as we noted last night, since 2010, no one's hit more than Heisey in baseball.
He's a specialist. give you power off the bench. That is a luxury for a team to have.
Drives it to left. Yelich comes in and makes the catch, and both runners hold. So an important out for Flores. And here is Stephen Drew. And here was Drew's homer, and this was a big one. It erased a 2-0 lead. We had just finished talking about Drew's year last year in New York before he took that swing. Not a great average, 201. Not a great on base, 271. But 17 homers, 16 doubles. So he did some damage when he swung the bat. His best years were in Arizona. Had a 21 homer season back in 2008.
Kendricks behind here again, 3-1 count. It's a tough way to make a living, being down behind the count with these big league hitters.
Well, the Marlins have Flores here for this start, so they don't have to accelerate the rotation through this doubleheader and into the 3-game series that starts on Monday against the Phillies. And the idea is get him in here, see if he can give you 5-6 nice innings, and then go to your bullpen. Tanner Roark now with the bags loaded and 1 out. Roark takes a strike. 0 for 10 this season. Bases filled with Nationals. Back to Flores, who looks around, and every National is back at their base.
Ball got in on it pretty good there.
Now Ben Revere. It's the Nationals who have 2 outs and the bag's still loaded, and nothing to show yet for this inning where they've drawn 3 walks. Revere hit one of the harder balls today, that line shot that Prado made a diving grab on. Fastball elevated. Of course, the other issue, regardless of how he fares in the inning, is the pitch count is about to hit 40. There's a strike. Revere last year with the Phillies and then Toronto. And he really played well with Toronto. .319 average, .354 on base in 56 games down the stretch. Gets on top of it. He can run. Dietrich gets the out at first. And Kendry Flores escapes the second. 2-0 Miami. In D.C. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Yes, the pets are here. It's a bark at the park night. Yelich. It's a screaming ground ball to Daniel Murphy for out number 1. Auto Nation brings you the Tanner Roark scouting report. What you got?
Well, containment since 2013, only giving up .77 home runs per 9 innings. That's 25th in Major League Baseball. Throws a lot of hitters, and he is aggressive. Goes after everybody.
Well, he certainly went after Stanton in the first. Giancarlo bounced to first. Flips another breaking ball up there for a strike. Stanton lines it to center, and it hangs up and is caught there by Revere. So 2 quick outs for Roark, and Justin Bour comes up.
Oh, that ball must have had some knuckle action on it or something. It looked like it was dancing out there. Yep, knuckleball action. See that?
Especially on a windy day like this. That can't be pleasant. Roark, another changeup, and it's low. Big Poppy hit a walk-off. 2 homers in the ball game. Bour, center field. That's deep. Revere back and gone. Way up on that grass berm. Justin Bour blasts one.
He loves coming here. He seems to always have at least one big game when he plays a series here in D.C. Kind of had that feeling coming to this one, and man, that was a shot.
Watch how far this is.
Yeah, he knew it right off the bat. He's like, there's no stadium that's going to hold that. Ben Revere, well, he's just getting his legs loose because no shot there.
Ozuna breaking ball, strike. So Bour's 6th. And Miami's lead is now 3-0. Pitches into Ozuna. That's the 6th homer for Bour in his career against the Nationals. And in his last 9 games at Nationals Park, it's his 4th homer. Pitch up to Ozuna. 14-game hit streak for Marcell Ozuna, longest in the National League. Had 2 hits in game 1, a triple in the 2nd inning. Scored a run on the Rojas single. Rendon gets the outs, but the Marlins get another run. A long homer off the bat of Justin Bour. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Marcus Stroman was a Dookie and has gone back and earned his degree. He'll get it from Duke tomorrow, the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays. Steven Matz with a tender elbow will miss his next starts. And of course, this is play ball weekend in Major League Baseball, encouraging participation at all levels from boys and girls. I guess that's the moon. So they have hung the moon, essentially.
Okay.
Rendon. It's not a paper moon. I know that. 2-3-4. Nationals order. Murphy, Ramos follow Rendon. Flores has been a little uneven in his 2 innings. He got a couple line drive outs, gave up a single. He got out of that first without damage. Walked the bases loaded with 1 out in the second and escaped. And a big cut by Rendon.
That's one of those hanging breaking balls that hangs just a little bit too much. Stayed up too high, couldn't get on top of it.
Logan Verrett is making the start for Steven Matz. And if you ask the Marlins, they'll tell you he's pretty good.
Yes, he's pitched well against the Fish.
0-2. Flores misses out. Got to be some nerve, certainly. This is only the second major league start. He's made 6 relief appearances in the big leagues. And of course, he's doing it against a team that, with their 2 wins in this series, keeps their hold on first place in the East. Nationals now 23-13.
Rendon has worked himself from an 0-2 count to a 3-2 count.
He got him. I think he subtracted from his fastball, maybe not an all-out changeup, but he went from 92 to 88 almost.
Fastball.
That's in reading the scouting report and talking to others about him. That's one of the things that he does best, is he adds and subtracts to the fastball. You don't see that very often these days. It's guys that are high velocity and then throw a hook or a changeup.
It takes a lot of confidence to throw your fastball a little softer. You know, there were some great pitchers in the big leagues that were able to do it, but it takes a lot of guts, because you know that worries in the back of your mind that if I throw this fastball and it's a little bit slow and someone hits it hard, then I'm going to question that decision. But it's a really good pitch. It uses the hitter's aggressiveness against them because you don't see the difference in the arm speed. There's no difference in the arm angle. And you can really get some weak ground balls or even some strikeouts.
You saw that look like more of a straight change. It faded to the lefty bat. That's at 85. That also had some downward plane to it. He's topped out at 95. He's in those last 3 pitches, he's gone progressively lower, 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 down to 82. So he really is mixing his speeds. Murphy hits a high fly ball right field. Swirling wind brings in Stanton.
3-1 count. Took a little off. Got him hit it off the end of the bat.
Here's Ramos now. So Big Papi had a big day with his walk-off. Boston beat Houston in 11, 6-5. Arrieta won again. It's 18 straight wins for him. He's 8-2. Obviously goes back to last year. 7-0 and an ERA of 1.29. The Pirates are just a game over, and the Cubs are 19 games over.
That's astonishing.
Ramos takes down low. The Yankees beat the White Sox 2-1. Game's underway. The Rays lead Oakland. Bottom 7. That's a 4-0 game in St. Pete. Reds on top of the Phillies. Marlins could use some help from the Reds. That's 1-0 Cincinnati. Top 2 in Philadelphia. Ramos hit a bolt of a home run. A low line drive that zipped out of here in the first game. You know, this is one game where watching the radar gun, it pops up obviously on the score bug in the lower right. Watching the radar gun is fascinating because his release points are all very consistent. Ball just comes out of his hand differently, and sometimes it's in low 90s, some it's low 80s. That one to left, and Yelich is there, and he makes the catch. Henry Flores settles down in that third. 3-0. Is the presenting sponsor of Marlins baseball. How cool was that?
What timing.
Oh, Chrysler. And the Ducks went right down and popped right back up. Pretty sweet here in D.C., isn't it?
So many sights.
There you go. That's one last dive bomber there.
They're playing along for the camera.
Yeah, at Nationals Ballpark. This is the second game of the day. The Nationals beat the Marlins in game 1. That was this afternoon. In the rain. So far no rain, but wind and lower temperatures for sure. Miami has a 3-0 lead. JT Realmuto, Miguel Rojas, and then Kendry Flores, bottom third of the order for the Fish. Justin Bour, long homer. Derek Dietrich, an RBI double. Marcell Ozuna triple, and a Miguel Rojas RBI single, and that's how the Marlins have their runs. Look out. Wilson Ramos almost ran right through the rail there and into the camera well. It's not a guy you want to greet at full speed.
He's a very wide man.
If he stays healthy, the Nationals, that'll help them especially. He's having a very good offensive year. Dusty Baker's been pleased with his defense. JT has a couple hits in the series. Cracks a ground ball, which is fair. Rendon, who I think is an underrated defender at third base as well.
I love watching him sling it over there.
He's always very accurate. Preston, here you go. Get your kit on. Not kilt, but kit. We'll look at this play first.
Watch how he slings it. Underarm motion. Just whips it over there.
There's Rojas. Well, the Marlins bullpen is active right now, and Cole Gillespie is on deck, which means the end of the line for Kendry Flores.
Which means a long evening for the bullpen.
Yeah, you're right about that. That would be 6 innings worth. So Urena, who worked in the first game, is up, which, if you're the Marlins, might be a little bit of a signal that you need to score some more runs.
Yeah.
Not that the bullpen can't hold the lead, but the bullpen's been worked, and it's going to get worked even more. He went, and so Rojas strikes out. And here comes Gillespie. That's tough.
Yeah, you start going and the ball's coming in on you. You try to stop that swing, but it's the umpire's call.
Pitch Penny brings you this pinch hitter.
Well, that was quick.
That was. 59 pitches for Flores. You know, just looking at Flores' day-to-day minor league starts, there might be something wrong with him. Don't see him in the dugout. I mean, physically.
Right.
His last start was on the 7th. So it shouldn't be that he's been worked lately. And he threw 103 pitches in that game.
Okay.
So we'll try to get word. Jessica's down below.
So we were noting the difference in velocity. That could have been something else going on. Good pitch.
Yeah, and Roark comes roaring back with a 1-2-3-4. Miami has a lead. 3-0. Miami on top. Sports Florida is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. By Checkers, fast foodies know the deal. By Warren Henry, now celebrating our 40th year as Miami's best luxury dealer. Nighttime arrives in D.C. Gorgeous sky above and around the Beltway. The intrigue now for the Marlins. Martin Prado, as Don Mattingly came out to report the change. Martin Prado talked to Larry Vanover and then went out to talk to Jose Urena, and it may have been to tell him that, hey, you've got as many warm-ups as you need, which would indicate this is some sort of an illness or injury situation for starting pitcher Kendry Flores. And so Urena is taking his time right now. You see Vanover watching, and the way Urena's throwing, he looks like he's.
Well, he looked like he was getting pretty loose down in the bullpen. He was good and hot, so I wasn't expecting this to be a long delay with him warming up out there.
And again, we'll try to get word as to the condition or the situation with Flores. What it does now is it puts a lot of pressure on a bullpen that's been used a lot lately. And not just pressure to go 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Urena pitched an inning in the rain to finish off game 1. And that's the other thing that compounds all of this, is that the Marlins played last night and today, and this is their 3rd game in 24 hours.
So when you have a night day, then night day, the intervals in between the games is really short. Not much recovery time.
And it's taxing on everybody. And you hear managers say, well, it's really important that we get our starters deep in these games. And in game 1, Justin Nicolino did not get deep, 4 2/3. Nick Whitgren went 2 innings. My guess would be Whitgren's not available after going 2 innings. And I don't know that Urena can throw a long time here either. So, that being said, Miami's up 3-0. And Urena's throwing free and easy. The count's 2-2. You can hear the wind and you can see it rippling through the uniform of Clint Robinson at the plate. Little tapper past the mound. That's the shortstop Rojas in the shift who gets the out. In between innings, Miami's dugout. This is a look at it. And that's Flores pointing at his arm or upper arm. And you can see him holding that left hand up around the armpit, the right armpit. So, Urena with a good changeup, strike to Dendecker.
He's got a really good changeup working. He threw a couple really good ones to Robinson. And Dendecker did not pick that one up as well.
That one came up and got Dendecker in the arm.
That looked like more of a slider or something that just kind of got under and around. Yeah, that's a slider. It was bad from the moment he got to his release point. Kind of wrapped it, sideways spin, didn't get any downward tilt on it.
Here comes Chris Heisey. And that's the really intriguing thing about Urania is that live arm. He has shown that he's starting to get that feel for the secondary pitches. His best moment had to be that game in Los Angeles, in which he came roaring in. David Phelps was ejected, and Urania finished. Got the last 5 outs, I believe, and ended up getting the save.
That was a very impressive outing by him. Big moment. Wasn't expected to come in at the time. Came in and did a great job.
They got the save on the 27th of April. Heisey, the home run last night. He's flied out. Two and two. Heisey out of a small school in Grantham, Pennsylvania, Messiah College. Smacks it in the gap, left center field. Dendecker got a good jump, round second, on his way to third. And the Nationals have him at the corners. And so Urania now will get Stephen Drew. Drew walked back in the second. In the air, left field, runner tags. Yelich has it, tagging and running is Dendecker to throw home. He's not in time. Holding first is Heisey.
I think the wind played a factor in it. Yelich not really being able to get behind this ball and get much in it. So look as he's coming to it. Like he doesn't really get much running into the ball. That's been long for him anyway, but you try to get lined up with the ball at home plate so that way you can play your way through it. And it was kind of like jagged steps there, not much rhythm from the catch to the throw.
But it was a cuttable ball.
Yes.
Which kept Heisey at first.
Yes, and that is always your job as an outfielder. Hit the cutoff man. Make sure the cutoff man can at least act like he's going to attempt at the ball to freeze that runner.
Here's Roark. Bounces one to third. Well, the Marlins are going to have to piece it together from the bullpen. Kendry Flores is out of the game, but the Fish are still up 3-1.
Park, where it is the best night ever. It is Bark at the Park night here in Washington, D.C. So, of course, I had to make my way over to this section and hang out with a few of these pups. We've got Daisy right over here. We've got Charlie right here. This is Pockets. By the way, how awesome of a dog name is Pockets. And just a heads up, our first Bark at the Park night at Marlins Park will be on Sunday, June 5th. That is against the Mets. Guys, I know you are curious as to whether or not Lemon will be there. She will absolutely be there because I want to see Lemon versus Craig Minervini round 2. Right now, Lemon is dominating that matchup.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Lemon is Jessica's dog, and Lemon is the dog that growled viciously at Craig whenever he got close trying to interview Jessica at Bark at the Park. How many dogs do you think they have here, Jess? The Marlins always have a very good attendance with Bark at the Park.
There are many, many dogs over here. I'm going to go with a couple hundred, but I don't think any of them have nearly the attitude that Lemon does.
Look at that. Poops.
They all seem to be very friendly.
Well, look at that. I mean, on a cold night, that's the type of dog you want in your lap, right?
Yeah, just sit there and keep me warm.
Very sweet. Pockets is trying to say hello. Pockets thinks you have a treat.
Little do you know, Pockets actually got that name because he was a common thief around the dog pound.
That's right. Now, Marlins here in the 5th have Derek Dietrich at first, with Martin Prado up. And Roark throws over to first. So Dietrich's been on all 3 times.
Yes. Hit by pitch, double.
And walks. And of course, a lot of people, it's probably 3 or 4 days ago where the stat came out looking at Marlin leadoff hitters since the absence of D. Gordon. And the Fish have done quite well up there. Dietrich, I think, has really taken to that spot.
Dietrich, he's happy to be in a major league lineup. He's a guy who had an opportunity a couple years ago, got injured in spring training, really had to fight his way back to try to find a spot, and he's got a chance to try to show himself, show his skills off, help his team out there every day right now, and he's enjoying it. And I think Dietrich is much more ready for that opportunity now. He's made some big changes in his approach, starting to hit the ball better the other way, getting more out of the whole field instead of just that pull side. This is a perfect time for him to get a chance.
And I think in talking to Derek, when you're in there every day, or almost every day, it's easier to go the other way. Whereas, you know, he was used as a pinch hitter and a spot starter, where the pressure is to do something big when you have not a lot of opportunities. Here, as you noted, he can relax and have fun and enjoy it. He's at first. Prado waiting on a 1-1 pitch. Right shoulder strain with Kendrick Flores. He is listed as day-to-day. And it's 1-2.
With Kendrick Flores being the 26th man, if there's an injury, do they have to keep him in the big leagues?
Boy, that I don't know. I do know this, though. If the Marlins, I mean, say this bullpen, well, obviously it's going to get worked tonight, and it gets worked tomorrow. The Marlins may have to bring up another arm at some point, because there's no off day before Philly, 3 days in Philly. What a job by Prado. An innovative swing, ends up sneaking into right field for a hit. Prado can be creative at the plate.
Wow. I mean, this is just finding a way. That pitch isn't supposed to be hit.
He has that ability to drop that. You know, some guys, watch that back foot. It slides back, closes him out, and it almost kicks him out towards right field.
Man, it gives him a lot of extension, though, because he come off that backside. It's not how you teach it, but when you find a way, you find a way.
Now Yelich, who's lined out, bounced out. It's the 5th, but look at the pitches for Tanner Roark, 84 of them, so he's not going to be around much longer. Yelich takes a knee-high strike.
Well, he definitely has not been the Tanner Roark that we've seen in the past, throwing all the strikes. He's been around the strike zone. He's been up a lot this game.
As we noted, his starts against the Marlins haven't been good, but his starts against everybody else have been pretty good. If you include this start, his 3rd start against the Fish, that's a dozen runs spread out amongst the 3 starts. 5 other starts, 5 runs total allowed.
Wow.
Yelich takes a changeup that floats away, and it's 2-1. Another changeup, and this is high. And Yelich now in a 3-1 count with Dietrich and Prado out there.
See, these are the innings that the Marlins need to be able to add on another run or two. 2 men on, nobody out. Got you one of your best hitters up. 3-1 count.
Yelich sends one foul. Speaking of dogs at the ballpark, the pooch of this guy, Kirk Cousins, Redskins quarterback. He brought his dog, and he also threw out the first pitch.
Mr. You like, oh, he's probably saying that to his dog. You like that. You like that.
Very good. Very good. Preston, NFL savvy with his commentary. 3-2. Fastball is fouled back out of play. Stanton's on deck. Roark now. His 91st pitch. Changeup. Good at bat by Yelich. And he walks. The bags are loaded. And for Stanton, who's trying to bust out of another little dip, here's a great opportunity. For Stanton, this ballpark has yielded more road homers than any other in baseball. 15 at Nationals Park. But he pops this one up on the infield fly, and he's 0 for 3 in the ball game.
And there's nothing wrong with Stanton's swing. Right now, it's just pitch selection. That's really what his swing looks fine. Maybe sometimes he doesn't quite have the rhythm, but the bat path itself is fine. He's just not picking good pitches to swing at. And it happens. This ball's running in off the plate. It's up. Big, tall guys usually don't like the ball up on their hands. They like to get extended.
Here's Bohr now. And this is always a special trip for Bohr. Played his college ball at George Mason. His brother was on that team as well. His father in the Secret Service, worked here in the D.C. area. And Bohr takes in. And he blasted one to center for a solo homer. That was in the 3rd. Bags loaded. There's one out. Infield a shift, but not a full shift. And Bohr pops it foul. And that's out of play. And he went diving for a changeup.
I've gotten to know Justin, and he's a guy that I'll pull for. You know, I feel like I got 25 nephews when I watch this team play. At some point, I talk to most of them, if not all of them. And, you know, he's just such a nice guy.
but he chases a high fastball. And if the Marlins are going to get anything out of this bases loaded, nobody out spot, it's up to Ozuna.
Had a minor league manager tell me one time, I was going through a stretch where I was swinging at the high fast. He pulled me to the side and jokingly goes, "Hey, if you can see the bottom of the ball, don't swing."
I guess easier said than done.
Yeah.
Ozuna has tripled and bounced out. Pitch is in. Well, this is a great opportunity. Roark walking Dietrich, a single by Prado, a walk to Yelich, but Stanton popped out. Bohr has struck out. Now here's the real test for Ozuna, right? I mean, his newfound selectivity at the plate has really helped him. It's pumped his average up to 300. Actually at 305. I mean, in here, oh wow, a strike from Larry Vanover.
But that's a good take by Ozuna because there's no way he's looking for a 2-0 changeup right there. So he just doesn't swing at it. So what? It's only one strike.
And it was a perfect pitch on the black and at the knees. A hit means a run, a walk means a run. Chopper over the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Scoring is Dietrich. Prado right behind him. He'll score. The throw goes to third, and Marcell Ozuna has driven in two. Miami has a 5-1 lead. And Ozuna just keeps on hitting. 14 straight games. Now 19 runs driven in on the season.
Staying up the middle, staying with your approach.
That is an enormous pick-me-up for an inning that had just about fizzled out. Real Muto now can add to it. With Yelich and Ozuna out there. And Real Muto takes. Jose Fernandez, Joe Ross tomorrow. That's the matchup to finish off this series before the Marlins head to Philly. South Florida Honda dealers get you started with Marlins Live tomorrow at 12:30. Craig Minervini and Carl Pavano will be up early.
I wonder who's bringing the donuts tomorrow for the studio.
That's because when you are on an afternoon game, the scouting report is you always bring donuts or some sort of pastry or breakfast treat. And do you get any reciprocation from those two? Yeah, you don't need to say it. Here's the 2-1. And it's out.
But you know, it's really for the crew there. All the people in the research and editing and the camera crew, engineer, they do so much. They're there so long, and they make our job a lot easier. So that's just a little thank you to them.
That's a strike. Well, that's not what I was asking. I was asking if Craig or Pavano ever provided those.
Oh, Rich, I knew what you were getting at. I was trying to avoid that.
Treats. You don't need to answer.
Okay.
All right, 3-2 to Real Muto with Ozuna at second. Yelich at third. 2 runs across. Yikes! Into center field. That's a hit. Yelich scores. Here comes Ozuna. Revere's throw is up the line, and Ozuna slides on through with Miami's 7th run. Real Muto cracks a 2-run single. And the Marlins have put up a 6-run cushion now on what is going to be a bullpen game for the Fish.
He threw it down the middle, and he hit it back up the middle. If the Marlins ever needed a nice cushion, score a lot of runs to give this bullpen a break, it is tonight with Kendrys Flores exiting this game early.
Bullpen is active. Mike Maddox is out.
it just makes them not have to be perfect. They've been stretched out. You know, when you have that many innings put on your bullpen, they're not all going to be sharp all the time. So now it gives you a little bit of chance to be able to work around some mistakes instead of it being one mistake and it takes the game away from you.
And now at 106 pitches, Roark is just about done, you would expect.
Unfortunately, when you have a game like this, when you're up in the strike zone like Roark has been, didn't really have a breaking ball at all tonight. He was mostly fastball changeup. We didn't see much of a breaking ball at all. He wasn't sharp. You see that high pitch count.
Sammy Solis is in the bullpen, and the Nationals are walking Rojas because they know that the Marlins don't want to burn another pinch hitter here in the 5th, and so Urania will get the at-bat. That's another thing about having to go to the bullpen so early in a National League game. It'll chew through your bench pretty quick.
It's a little gamesmanship by Dusty.
You can bring a group to Marlins Park, get a great price on tickets. Perfect for family outings, birthdays, and networking. Group sales team is at 1-877-MARLINS. Go to marlins.com/groups. So here's Urania. Urania does have a hit. Roark. You know, it's not like the Nationals are leaving Roark out there because he leads off. He made the last out in the last inning. Revere leads off. But I guess they figure they'll hopefully get Roark to just finish this inning and then get to the bullpen next inning. 2-2.
Well, I got to think this is his last batter no matter what when he finished him off right there.
Nice inning for the Fish. They add 4 and lead it 7-1. Toyota Inside Look brought to you by the Toyota RAV4. This is, of course, the Expos franchise that moved here. And we were talking about Tim Wallach and the fact that, you know, because the Montreal Expos moved, they didn't really have a chance to retire numbers in full. They had 4 retired numbers, and we wondered if, you know what, that guy's number should be retired, and it should be. I mean, you think just because the franchise moved, they stopped retiring numbers. I think Tim Wallach's number should be retired in Expos history, and maybe someday, if baseball goes back to Montreal, he'll get the proper honor and due. But we just wanted to show that all-time hits.
He was a great player. I remember watching him play against my dad many times, and just high impact, drove in runs, got big hits, played great defense at third base.
There's a liner out to second. Now the names that you saw up there, the Nationals organization honored the Expo Hall of Famers, Gary Carter and Andre Dawson. Just in doing a cursory bit of research in Expos history, the other retired numbers, along with Carter and Dawson, are Tim Raines and Rusty Staub. And you know what? I think they should add Tim Wallach. 5 All-Stars, 3 Gold Gloves, and probably more of both of those if he had played someplace else.
Yeah, the market makes a difference. Unfortunately, that's just how it is.
Ben Revere out number 1, and here's Rendon. That's a topic for Dave Van Horn after the game, because no one saw more Expos games than he did.
Well, you can liken them to the Kansas City Royals of last year. I guarantee you there were very few people before 2 years ago that could tell you 5 of the starters from that Royals lineup.
And I think back then, too, awards were more of a popularity contest than they are now, because there was obviously less statistical studies. Sabermetrics hadn't really come into the game. And so a lot of it was, who have you seen on the Saturday game of the week, or this week in baseball with Mel Allen. As a kid, that's how, you know, other than the local teams, it was the Saturday game of the week. Monday Night Baseball had come in with ABC, and then This Week in Baseball was the ultimate highlight show for baseball on Saturday mornings. Rendon walks. This is the 2nd inning for Urania. How about the bonus code? Tony Perez was an Expo. And I did not know that. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday.
Hey, doggy, happy birthday.
Go to fishfamily.com/ or excuse me, marlins.com/fishfamily. I don't know what you'll get if you go to fishfamily.com/fishfamily.
Hey, be careful where you're sending people on the internet, Rich.
Yeah, marlins.com/fishfamily. Tell them Tony Perez sent you. Murphy, who is single and fly down. Murphy to center. Ozuna back. It's deep. He squares up and makes the catch. You talked about this the other night, that as a center fielder, it doesn't matter which way you turn. In your words, I think what you said is you just want depth.
The theory is, well, not the theory, the fact is you can't outrun the baseball. So you get your depth first, and then you can find it, and you can work your way around it. But if you kind of drift back and don't get back there, the ball's going to win. So you just put your head down. It doesn't matter whether you turn to your left or to your right. Get back deep, then turn around and find it.
Preston, does that hold true in left and in right?
Yes, absolutely. And the reason is, guys just have to get comfortable taking their eyes off the ball.
Busted bat, and that one's going to land in front. Rendon on his way to third. Ozuna's throw is not in time. Ramos has a hit. Nationals at the corners with 2 outs.
So this ball gets in on him, might have even broken his back, but it's up. So you can get a base hit on it, get it out there over the infield. Ozuna comes up throwing. Maybe not the typical throw you see from Ozuna, but when you're the center fielder and you're moving towards right field, it's hard to get a really good throw off. It takes so much for you to turn your body to get your shoulders squared up, your body squared up at third base to make an accurate throw when all your momentum is moving towards right field.
Clint Robinson. Count 2-0. Robinson has walked, bounced out. And he sends this one in the air to left. Yelich in two much needed relief innings by Jose Urena. Bullpen game for the Fish, and they're leading it 7-1. Refurbished. Geico presents this date Marlins history. Cody Ross hit a 3-run homer in the top of the 9th. A 6-run inning at Great American Ballpark. But it wasn't enough as the Reds won it 7-6. Sammy Solis. And he gets Derek Dietrich, Martin Prado, Christian Yelich. Dietrich has been on base all 3 times, hit by a batter, RBI double, and walked and scored. Tanner Roark. The Marlins apparently are the kryptonite for Roark. Big breaking ball is a strike. That's not a swing. Roark, 5 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And a pitch misses down low. If you're just happening by, and you heard me say this is a bullpen game for the Marlins, Kendry Flores, after 3 innings left with a, as I remember it, a strain of the right shoulder. Right shoulder strain. Jose Urena has sucked up 2 innings. Dietrich takes down low. This was the dugout after Flores came out of the ball game. And so remember, the Marlins brought him up to make this start. to help ease the workload. That's a breaking ball for a strike. Dietrich's out. And we'll see how the Marlins figure out the rest of their bullpen after this important message. Hop aboard the Marlins Express. Bring your group to Marlins Park in style. 30 to 50 people in a motor coach, all going to one location. And it starts at just $40 a person. Marlins Express, 1-877-MARLINS. Or email Preston at no, I can't give that out. Try groups at marlins.com. Dietrich's out. Solis gets Prado and then Yelich. He slings in a strike. Brian Morris was up throwing for Miami and has stopped throwing. Whether he's all warm and ready to go, we'll see. That's going to get into the seats. 2 runs in the second, highlighted by an RBI double by Derek Dietrich, a triple by Marcell Ozuna. Miguel Rojas an RBI single. Justin Bour's homer, solo shot in the third, and then two-run singles by Ozuna and JT Realmuto. That was in the fifth. Prado's aboard, and here comes Yelich. So Jose tomorrow against Joe Ross. And if you can't catch the game tomorrow on your TV, you can stream it on your mobile device with the new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Florida Marlins wherever you go. Watch, tablet, phone, I guess laptop. Yelich homered in the first game. We got a very nice video greeting from Tony Perez on his birthday. Looks like Tony's having a comfortable time.
What a nice man. You know, he helped me out so much when I was a young player coming up with the Marlins.
What was the best piece of advice Tony Perez gave to you as a young?
Really, I would ask him sometimes about driving and runs because I knew that was something that he did very well in his career. And he would just, you know, sometimes you got to take that single to right field. You know, they're not always going to give you that pitch to drive. Take that knock and be happy with that ribby.
Yelich bounces one up the middle, might be two. The turn is offline, and Yelich arrives safely. Murphy's throw pulled Robinson off the bag. It gives Stanton an at bat. I remember having Tony on a couple of years ago, and we were talking about what he did so well, and that was drive-in runs, score runners from third. And oftentimes it was during a game he was on, there was a runner at third and less than 2 outs. And I said, yeah, oftentimes you hear, Tony, in this case, guys are looking for a pitch they can hit in the air. And Tony said, absolutely not. He said, you want a pitch you can drive, not one you can hit in the air.
Right.
Stanton is out. Murphy gets the throw over. 7-1 Marlins. especially at night when it's lit up, is such a solemn, poignant, great place here in D.C. Nationals Park is about 10 minutes away from the monuments. And a busy place today, a day game. Nationals beat the Marlins 6-4 in front of 28,000. I bet you we've got close to 30 on hand here. Matt Den Decker is up. And importantly for the Marlins, Jose Urena is going to try to get another inning and make it 3 innings out of the bullpen. Just 3 from Kendry Flores before a strained right shoulder.
You know, and having a 7-1 lead makes this a lot easier to leave him out there, stretch him out a little bit.
Ball in the dirt. Pitching matchups for Philly. Of course, it's a Jose game tomorrow. Adam Conley will go for the Marlins on Monday, and Jared Eichhoff, the righty, goes for the Phillies. Tuesday night, Wei-Yin Chen and Vince Velasquez, whom the Marlins just saw. Prado makes that play so well, that backhand with an accurate throw. Den Decker's out. And Wednesday is a day game actually in Philadelphia. The Marlins have not announced their starter for that ball game. Jeremy Hellickson is slated to go for the Phils. Marlins saw both Velasquez and Hellickson. Here's Heisey, and he pops it foul. Stephen Drew on deck. First place Nationals. Washington's cause helped last night with a loss by the Mets. They opened play a game up, and of course they won the first game of this doubleheader. The Mets are losing to Colorado 2-1, and that's in the third. In Denver. Ooh, looked like a pretty good pitch.
Definitely a good spot for it. And it got some of the strike zone. Fox Track says it did.
Prado across the diamond in time to get the out.
Prado does something so important after he fields the ball. He gets his momentum going towards first base. A lot of guys, they take these lazy steps and their throws are always inaccurate. He's so accurate because he gathers himself and gets his momentum, couple quick steps towards first base, and then fires. Watch after he fields the ball. That's only part of this, and now this. See that? Get himself going in the right direction. That takes a strain off your arm, gets you going, gets your momentum towards first base. Look at this, boom, boom. That's why he's so consistent with his throws. He's not lazy with his feet.
That you know what? That is a perfect way to put it. He's not lazy with his feet, because that's extra effort to do that. You could just field it and fire it.
And a lot of guys do, and they will end up making more inaccurate throws than he will.
Urena, you know, it's funny because you want to say, well, he worked last night, and he didn't, but you forget that that game was today.
Yes.
He worked today. He worked this afternoon for an inning.
I am surprised that he's thrown this much after pitching in that first game.
Well, he's at 44 pitches. And we saw Morris get up. Urena has 2 outs here. And As you pointed out, the luxury of the 6-run lead is he can just pound the strike zone. Not that he wouldn't, but he can feel a little more comfortable about going after a Stephen Drew or an Anthony Rendon.
97. Wow. You know, every now and then he'll just reach back and it'll jump out of his hand like that.
Count stays at 3-2. Phillies have increased their lead over the Reds. 3-1, bottom 5. If they win that game, they'll be 7 over. Bohr, Urena, 3 nice innings from Jose Urena. To the 7th in DC, 7-1. Been fun to watch tonight. The Marlins have busted out offensively with Preston Wilson. Jessica Blaylock feels colder than 59. Justin Bohr takes a strike. On a night where the Marlins had Kendry Flores going, he left after 3 innings with a strain of the right shoulder. Jose Urena has pitched the next 3. Sammy Solis in relief of Tanner Roark. Marlins knocked Roark around for 7 runs on 8 hits in 5 innings. And Bohr sends a bouncer out to shallow right. Murphy gets the out. David Phelps in Miami's bullpen.
These are still important at bats that Derek Dietrich and Justin Bohr are getting against lefties. Having a 7-1 lead affords you that luxury to leave them in there. Doubleheader on the same day-night doubleheader makes you want to be more conservative with your bench. When you got this kind of lead, it helps Mattingly get to see those guys face lefties a little bit more.
Solis has that big sweeping breaking ball. There's the streak for Ozuna now.
Well, I like that. A lot of force.
And he's added to it with damage tonight. Triple, 2-run single, 2 runs scored, and a .311 average. I want to say he bottomed out right around 215.
Well, the talent is definitely there. I mean, this kid has got good bat speed. He's got good power.
Yeah, 218 was where he started. This is the longest hit streak for a Marlins player this season, and it's the longest active streak in the National League. Well, if you have followed the Marlins, you know the story that in the offseason, Don Mattingly and Barry Bonds both were squarely in Ozuna's corner and said, look, we feel like this guy is just scratching the surface. And Ozuna strikes out. And they've been right, because he's really coming on right now. MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment. You get video highlights, StatCast, news, more. Not just more, but all kinds of fun stuff. Standings, videos, that cool scoreboard where you just pop on the game and all kinds of stuff flies at you. Would you think that's better than saying and more?
Yes, I do. I do.
All right. MLB.com at bat. I know. Apologies to the copywriter. And quite frankly, if we just listed all that, it would not be a 15-second drop in. It'd be 30.
True. Because there's so much stuff packed into that app and all of that.
I love the fact that you can now get StatCast when you pop open the individual game and touch the feed button. And all of a sudden, stuff that's happening in the game that's measured by StatCast flies right out you. From exit speeds to home run distance. All the dynamics of a pitch. That one fouled out of play.
Yeah, I don't believe you had it up and running for the first game.
Well, the rumor was that since it was a postponed game and a makeup game, is that the folks at the switch at StatCast Central, wherever they're headquartered, who knows where they are headquartered, but apparently they were out for lunch. That one fouled back and out of play. You get team schedules, rosters, all-star game vote, Draft Central, fantasy news, and of course cut 4. That was a swing and a miss by Real Muto. Come on, hold up the sign, will you? Oh, that's weak. I like the other side better. Bottom of the 7th. And 3 heroic innings by Jose Urena after pitching earlier today in a time of need. David Phelps is getting his warm-up tosses. We check in with Jessica Blaylock. Jess?
Hey, Rich. Rich, we're less than 2 months away from that game that will be played between the Braves and the Marlins at Fort Bragg, and work has begun on getting that field ready. Earlier this week, Fort Bragg sent out a tweet to show that the ballpark is currently in the beginning stages of construction for that July 3rd matchup, and that is going to be such an exciting game for these players. So many of them have already talked about how much they are looking forward to that game.
Thank you, Jessica. There's David Phelps. And there's Chris Johnson. So double switch here. You'd expect Johnson is in the 9 position and Phelps in the 5 spot. Marlins haven't been in a position to use that back end of the bullpen, so Phelps gets some work. And the hope is, I'm sure, for Don Mattingly and Juan Nieves is not to have to use him too much. So 1 pitch, 1 out helps. Phelps now gets Ben Revere. Anthony Rendon will follow. 7-1 Miami. Marlins trying to get a split of this doubleheader. If they can win this game, then they can go after a split of the series.
Be great to win this game, but it'd be even better to win this game and not have to use any more of your bullpen than you really want to.
Exactly. I mean, like, if you needed 2 innings from Phelps, you want them to be quick innings. If you can get just an inning from Phelps and then hand the baton off, that would be good as well. Rojas looking sharp at short. This road trip is just about halfway through in terms of number of games. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock start. That's a Jose Fernandez start against Joe Ross. Adam Conley goes on Monday in Philly, Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon. And the Nationals and the Marlins tangle again next week. Next weekend, actually. Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Marlins Park. Phelps working quickly, gets Rendon now.
Oh yeah, keep throwing those fast, keep pounding the strike zone. Keep that sinker down. Try to get you another really quick out right here. That'd be tremendous.
It's going to be chilly tomorrow, but it looks like no rain. Game time temperature at 57 degrees with sunshine. Weather in Philly, sunny on Monday, rain on Tuesday and Wednesday, a distinct possibility.
Good fastball by Phelps, right down the middle, but got Rendon to miss it.
Phelps worked a couple of times in the Milwaukee series. That one lifted foul and out of play. Had a bump in the road against Philly. But overall has been very effective, has earned that 8th inning role. Two down, bottom 7.
Oh. Pitch got part of strike zone.
That's that fastball that he starts out and it works its way back in. Now that one must have missed in. Okay, here are the last two pitches. This now, wow. Pitch number 8's got the inside part. Pitch number 7's got the outside part. So he hit 2 strikes and got neither call.
And we're so programmed to not even question it if the catcher's sitting up on one side of the plate and the ball's on the other side.
Well, look, and it's easy to sit here and say, well, that's a strike and that's a strike. Because I mean, look, standing behind home plate, the ball's coming at you at 94, 95. It's moving, 2 seamers, balls are darting in and out, and all of that. It is the technology, the same technology that the umpires use as far as grading their performance, point of reference on their performance. Rojas got a piece of it. They'll keep it on the infield. That's a base hit for Murphy.
That's a tough backhand play. I look at this inning and I feel like Phelps got those first 2 outs so quickly. And then he started overthrowing a little bit, or maybe being in a rush to try to get out of this inning even more quickly. Ended up throwing a few more balls. I'd like to see him get right back to himself right here. Dial it in. There we go.
Back to 1-1. Ramos playing both ends of the doubleheader. You would expect that Jose Lobaton would catch tomorrow. Lobaton caught last night. Ramos getting all 18 innings, it appears, today and tonight. To right, Stanton over, dives and got it. Giancarlo finishes the inning. Phelps with his glove on his head and a smile on his face. 7-1 still, Miami. Thank you, Craig. We'll see you on Marlins Live. Jessica Blaylock will be in the locker room and certainly in Don Mattingly's press conference after the game. Sammy Solis for the Nationals into his third inning. He gets Miguel Rojas, Chris Johnson, and Derek Dietrich. Dusty Baker with Solis out there trying to soak up these innings, and so he can protect his bullpen for tomorrow. That was after 5 innings of Tanner Roark that didn't go so well for Roark, but quite well for Miami. Rojas, RBI single, and he sends one out to short. And with one out, we bring you our Coors Timeless Moment. 41-year-old Willie Mays makes his Mets debut and hits a game-winning home run in 1972. Barry Bonds' godfather. Of course, in 1972, Barry's father, Bobby, still a San Francisco Giant. I believe the Giants in, well, it was 71. They lost to the Pirates in the National League Championship Series.
How about that godfather, godson? Willie Mays is considered the best all-around baseball player possibly to ever play. And Barry Bonds, in some circles, considered the best hitter to ever play.
Johnson just hits a bullet. He's hit more loud outs in the last 2 weeks than I think any Marlin. So 2 outs, and here's Dietrich. You see Brian Morris in the pen. And it looks like Don Mattingly's going to ask everybody to chip in an inning from here on out. Joe Ross, a right-hander tomorrow. The Fish will see him for the second time. Ross beat the Marlins 4-2 back on April 10th. That one's deep, but Revere is there. Now he comes in and makes the catch. 1, 2, 3, go the Fish. 7-1, cotton candy. We love cotton candy. Chrysler is a presenting sponsor of Marlins baseball. Bottom 8 World War II memorial. Just beautiful at night. Brian Morris becomes pitcher number 3 out of the pen. On a night when Kenry Flores strained his right shoulder making an emergency starts in this doubleheader.
Seen two guys get some double duty today. Urania
and Morris.
And Morris, yes. Two guys out of that bullpen.
Well, I guess the question will be, how will the bullpen be tomorrow with Jose Fernandez? Morris got a glove on it. Rojas backhands. That's a wonderful play by Miguel Rojas. And Chris Johnson with a nice pick at first, and Rojas acknowledges that.
Oh, that's picking your pitch up right there. This ball is hit back up the middle. And Rojas gets off the ricochet, gets a good strong throw up on the shortstop side of the bag, and Chris Johnson with the pick. That might get you a free lunch one day right there, Rich.
You mean Rojas?
Yeah, well, I wasn't talking about you. Yeah.
You mean Rojas might get a free lunch?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean, I think maybe Chris Johnson might earn at least a dessert out of it.
Well, maybe some fries or something.
From Rojas.
Nah, that's a nice pick. That takes that's a team play right there. You don't appreciate how nice it is having a first baseman that can dig that ball out of the dirt until you don't have that first baseman that can do it. The Marlins have had a couple years in the past where you had to be right on the money, but it's getting better over there. They're finding some guys that are doing a much better job around the base.
Well, Morris has got the first out. He's 0-2 on Den Decker. Fastball up. The Rockies are starting to pound the Mets, and it's only in the 4th inning in Colorado. Two coming to Den Decker. The Phillies are still up over the Reds 3-1, top 7. That's an Aaron Nola start. Atlanta is beating Kansas City in Kansas City 5-0. That's bottom 8. Here it's been Miami's bullpen after 3 innings of Kendrys Flores. And a Jose Fernandez start tomorrow. Long day of baseball. These two teams played last night, and then a day game today, and now a night game here. Day game tomorrow, bus ride to Philly. And Morris, there's that, when he's right, it's 94 and it runs like that and it ends up at or below the knees.
He's got what they call turbo sync. It's hard, it's heavy, and it's late. You know, and when he's right, it's hard to hit. 94, 95, he's even gotten up to 96, 97 at times. And the ball just dive bombs out of the strike zone.
Here's Heisey. You know, talking about the difference in generations of baseball. Everyone acknowledges that there is so much more velocity in the game on the mound. guys that did throw in the 90s and low 90s, say 20, 25 years ago, did they have that type of movement?
Some of them did. But what happened in baseball was when they started putting the radar guns in the stadiums, people became enamored with the readings. So the emphasis became on velocity and not pitching. You know, the guys used to really work on movement. That's the old school thing, finger pressure, trying to get that late movement. They didn't care about velocity. They cared about getting outs. Velocity didn't become a big thing until that was in every stadium. And you would even see pitchers throw a pitch and look over their shoulder just to see how hard they threw it.
Did you start to look at it as a hitter?
No, because you recognized it.
Here's a 2-1.
And for me, sometimes you get too wrapped up in it as a hitter, because if you get in a box, there might be a guy that throws 92 that looks like it's coming harder than a guy who registered on the gun at 96 because of the way the ball comes out of his hand. Some guys hide the ball longer. You know, that gun doesn't necessarily tell you how visually you see the speed.
That's a great point. Some guys, I mean, I think Nathan Eovaldi's one of those guys who throws upper 90s, but you get a pretty clear look at it. And other guys who hide the ball, Jacob deGrom may be a good example of a guy that, with the hair and the release point and all that's going on, the speed as it appears to a hitter is more than the actual velocity.
Right.
Three-two. Morris misses down low, and he loses Heisey. It brings up Stephen Drew, and these two, of course, met last night. You know, that's it. You're talking about Morris and his work today. He pitched last night as well, so he's the first guy that has worked in all 3 games. Morris gave up the 2-run homer to Drew last night, then got an out. Came in and got an out to finish off an inning earlier this afternoon. The Marlins are asking him to go a little bit longer in this one.
You're talking 3 games in a 24-hour span, basically.
Well, the good news is it's a third of an inning last night, a third of an inning today, and now they're looking for an inning here. I would expect Morris has the day off tomorrow. Bryant's 1-1. Up the middle. Don't worry, Rojas is there, and he gets the out. Nicely done. So from Urena to Phelps to Morris, the bullpen has passed the baton quite nicely at 7-1. Towards Florida is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. (7-1). Marlins on top. Ninth inning arrives. There is Jose Lobaton. He's behind the plate. And Oli Perez is on the mound. Former Padre, former Pirate, former Met, former Mariner. Am I missing anybody, Preston?
I don't think so. I mean, he's been around everywhere, but he's been a guy who's learned over the years, had control issues early, able to smooth out his delivery a little bit, a lot more consistent with his delivery, throwing strikes now. 14 years in the big leagues. You got to figure something out to hang around that long.
Arizona and Houston. Forgot his last two stops. Prado sends it into the seats.
I remember him being a starter, I want to say 2003, coming out throwing hard. In 96
in San Diego.
Yes.
Got to Pittsburgh at the tail end of that year. Was a Met in 06, 07, 08 through 2010 when he really had issues. 09 and 2010 is when the control kind of left him. Prado lines it into center field, and Martin Prado, a solid single, his third hit of the ball game. Here comes Yelich now. Stanton's on deck. This, the ball game that Bryce Harper decided to serve as his one-game suspension. He dropped his appeal after the game this afternoon. Yelich 0 for 3, has walked and scored. Doubled and homered in the first game of the doubleheader. And a strike. And it'll be interesting to see both managers' lineups tomorrow. Marlins do have an off day on Thursday.
Ooh, that's a big sweeping breaking ball, kind of starts out at the front hip or maybe even a little bit behind the left-handed batter. Comes across for a strike.
That's a beautiful pitch. I mean, that comes a long way and it ends up on the outside part.
It's a good job by Perez.
Look at that.
Man.
Now, here's a question for you. Maybe it's just perception, but it seems like there's an Oliver Perez on every team. A lefty who has that big sweeping breaking ball. Why aren't there right-handed Oliver Perez? I mean, guys like, remember Jeff Nelson that used to have that. There's a shot to left by Giancarlo Stanton.
Wow.
It seems like more lefties have that type of breaking ball than righties these days, whether it's starters or bullpen or whatever.
Well, a lot of time that is developed for left-handed batters only. You know, to have that deception for the left-handed batter. Baseball went through a long phase where most teams, their big bat was a left-handed bat. So that's why the left-handed specialist became so prevalent in baseball. To have that guy come out of the bullpen to stop that left-handed batter from having a good at-bat. Guys like Javi Lopez down there, Brian Fuentes, back with the Rockies back in the day. Those guys.
Randy Choate was pretty good.
Randy Choate, and he only throws 74 miles an hour. I mean, stiff breeze, it might knock it down if it's coming to the plate.
Here's Echeverria getting the at-bat with Ramos in Miami's bullpen.
But it's about that deception, that awkward angle.
Good to see Stanton hit the ball on the nose there. Echeverria drives it right center field. Heisey over is there, and he makes the catch. There's 2 outs. Here comes Ozuna. So that looks like it will be Ramos, who certainly could use an outing to tighten up a little bit. His last game was on Wednesday. An opportunity in a low stress situation to regain that feel of everything. Last 6 games, that's a lot of damage and a lot of hits. 14-game hit streak, 2 hits here. I like the old school look he's been going with. High socks, high pants.
It's nice to see we didn't really get we talked about how hard it was hit, but it's nice to see Giancarlo get a base hit there. Hopefully having some carryover for tomorrow.
119 miles an hour on that ball to left.
He hits the ball so hard. I think one of the great joys of my days in this job is being around the batting cage and watch Barry Bonds be in awe of how the ball comes off of Giancarlo's bat.
Ozuna cracks one to left. That's well hit. Stop sign is up. Prado will stop. Bags loaded. How about Ozuna? 3 hits tonight. Not only is he over 300, he's over 310 now.
Wow. Yeah, swing it too.
That has been fun to watch, those 2.
I think it's been so important for Ozuna to understand that if what you did got you to the big leagues and what you did made you have that big rookie campaign, 20+ home runs, 80+ RBIs, just stick with it. And don't let lack of productivity in a month or a month and a half make you make wholesale changes to your approach, to your setup, to your batting stance. If it works, it's going to work. And if you're that type of player, those numbers will be there at the end of the year.
Real Muto in the air. Robinson at first has it. And the Marlins leave them loaded. A.J. Ramos moving on to finish in the 9th. get the last 3 outs and split this doubleheader. The MLB.com ballpark app has snappy music, and it complements your visit to Marlins Park or any major league venue. Maps of the ballpark, menus for food, order from your seats. Put your game ticket on there as well. Just check in with the ballpark app and you get special offers, gifts, and more. Get the MLB.com ballpark app today. There's Denny Echeverria. He stays in after that pinch hit appearance.
I really would have liked to see him get this whole game off. You know, he's been scuffling with the bat. He's got to come in, get a pinch hit appearance. You know, sometimes it's good for a guy just to have that mental game off, just to sit there and watch, kick back.
A.J. Ramos, as we noted, hasn't worked since Wednesday. Jose Lobaton. Lobaton takes a strike. Lobaton then top of the order. Revere, Rendon. So tomorrow, 12:30. Hope you'll join us. Maybe Craig will bring donuts for the crew at our Fort Lauderdale studios. Marlins live, liner, right field. And a base hit for Lobaton. Oh, you know what? That's my bad. I'm off on the start time tomorrow. I had it at 1 o'clock in my programmable handheld device. It's 1:30 tomorrow.
1:30 start. Okay.
Yes.
I love the fact that both you and I are surprised about that.
So 105. I mean, if you want to tune in at 12:30, there's fine programming to be had.
Maybe they'll be playing an episode of Marlins Clubhouse. Might be able to catch me keeping you up on the South Florida minor league action.
That's an absolute. There's an out. There's a rundown. And that's nicely done. That's as good as you get right there. I mean, spring training, it doesn't go better than that. Revere, Johnson started it. Echeverria. Look at this.
A nice footwork at the bag, and look at that feed right on the chest. Throwing shoulder side, nicely done.
And importantly, and you probably cover this in Marlins Clubhouse, both runners or both defenders close as their teammate is about to throw it to them towards the runner.
Yes. Cut down that distance.
Did you ever get in a rundown as a defender from the outfield?
Yes, I did.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
That's always a thrill for an outfielder, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's terrifying for the manager. Because that means something's gone horribly wrong when your outfielder's in a rundown.
The only next best thing is getting to pitch in a game.
Yeah.
But when you get to do a rundown in the infield and you're an outfielder, you've been waiting for that.
Because you put in all that effort all the time to sprint into the infield when all those throws are going back and forth, to back up your position, do all this stuff they tell you in the minor leagues. You get there and then you never get a chance to do it, and when it finally happens, you just like, you're glad you did it and you're glad you didn't mess it up.
0-2. Bouncer, Echeverria on to first, in time, ball game, and a nice one for the Fish. A.J. Ramos takes the baton, delivers the win.